Good morning, students. So today we are going to start our first chapter of class 12, that is variation in psychological attribution. The chapter is from the NCRT book of psychology that you will be getting at the bookshops. So the chapter is all about the intelligence, how the psychological testing has been taking place, the attribution of that. Before that, we will go through a whole summary that how the chapter is going to start and where it's going to end in the first part of the video. This is not a complete chapter, just the theories will be explained to you in the chapter. Okay, so you need to take care of these things. The first of all, the some important notifications will be seen in that is what the intelligence is all about, and then we are going to talk about the attributions. Then we have been going to talk about the intelligence and personality values. All this will be explained to you. These are some of the important definitions. With this, the definitions will be also working on is individual differences, situationalism and situationalism differences. When we get to know about these things, we will talk about the assessment of the intelligence, that is how the psychological testing, what are the psychological testing, interview, what is it, observation, case study, difference between of both of this will be explained to you, and then the self report. This is we will discussing about. After this, the main psychologists of intelligence who have been related to the intelligence, we've been talking about them, that is Albert Beneath, then the Bachelor, and last is Gardner and Stenberg. In all these three, what definition they have given of intelligence, that will be explained to you. We've been going to talk about also the psychometric approaches and the information processing approach, how it is differentiated, that will be explained to you. Then later on, the theories of intelligence will be working on the theories who have been given from Alfred Beneath, then Charles Spearman, and Louis Thurstone theory, and then Arthur Jensen, and then J.P. Guilfoyle. What they have given about this will be discussing in this video. Let's start. So individual differences is something what it is. It refers to the distinctive and variation among people characteristics and behavior. What does it mean? That there is a difference between a characteristics and the behavior of the individual pattern. Like what it is, like for example, the variation differences are there. One person having their own different behavior, another person have the different behavior in a particular situation. I am giving you a one situation. In that situation, a person A is working as like he's been very introvert, or they may not talking to anybody. They are just having their own work to work, and then they move out. The other person, the person B comes, and in the same situation, he's taking help from other, he's talking and also helping out. Then he's very extrovert, he's been working like he's known to them from a long time. So this is the two difference between, that is the behavioral pattern which we've been observing in person A and as well as in the person B. That is what the characteristics has been explained, that the person A is not helping other. So he is very introvert, he is just having their own work. So person, what they have been saying, that he is very selfish or motive for his own purpose. Selfishness is being described by the other people. Another person, they will say that he is very helping nature. So that characteristics will be explained by the audience of person A and person B. That differentiation, that distinctiveness, variation has been called the individual differences. Okay. Other is situational. What is situation? One place influence one's behavior, means a particular situation, place is there, a particular circumstances are there, we can say, and in that one is behaving an other form. So the person's behavior will be expressed in that at situation. Then the situational perspective, in this only the it is having been related, like the situational perspective is what the human behaviors give, what they are resulting from their interaction. Like we have been talking from a person, and in during the interaction from the person, how he is behaving, that are being related to two factors, that is external and internal. For example, you are a person who is having some problems, who having very stress of exam or something. Okay, so you now, when you are talking or interacting with this coming in a particular situation, you will show your tensions in a form of aggression. So that stress and tension in a form of aggression, that is related to internal factor. On the other hand, external factor relates to something which is being explained by the audience, the situation, in a particular situation where you are going, like you are going in cinema hall or to watch a movie, that for seeing that particular movie, people you take views of your friends. Your friends say that the movie is really interesting, very live going, you can see it again and again. So you will be very having a positive aspect of that movie, and you will go to see. If they say negative about give negative point of view, so you have a doubt in particular situation. That is all has been explained by the external and internal factor. Now moving to further, for the assessment of psychological attribution, for this psychological attribution, most important thing we need to know, there are some of the factors. Before that, what do we understand by the term assessment, that we should be very aware about? It refers to the measurement of the attributes of individual and their evaluation. Means how a particular person is being evaluating themselves, how he is explaining himself to the audience, that has been assessed, that has been measured, that this person A is been showing himself in form of inward situation, yeah, introvertly he has been working out. That all has been measured by the behavior or by observing it, that we will explain further. So all that is the assessment. The assessment have formal and informal way. For how it is a formal and informal way, hey, for example, we have given a particular situation in that a person A is being judged by the two people. The first A person is saying that the Mr. A is very dominating, and on the other hand, the person 2 is saying that the person is very helping, Mr. A is very helping. They are showing their assessment. They have measured his characteristics, his behavior. On that, he is being judging the person A. That has been expressed in a form of two attributional changes, that is in an objective, standardized and organized form. He has assessed them on this method. Then the informal method, it is case to case variation. This is the same example is for this, that person A का case कुछ और है. They have a very positive point of view with the person A. Person 1 have their positive aspects with the A person, so that will be explained to you in this. And in the second, having not good assessment with the person A, so he's been giving you the negative aspects. That has been changes case to case, how a person behaviors vary. So we have been saying that one particular person is not good to everyone. You cannot be good to everyone eyes. That has been that example is also vary with the same assessment knowledge. Now moving further, we move to the some aspects in this, the chapter of variation and psychological attribution. Main thing is all about intelligence. So the first assessment is through the intelligence. What is intelligence? It is something general cognitive competence. Means what is your general knowledge, what is, it's not only related to one aspect, not only related to your studies, but to all the aspect, whether it is emotional, whether it is your social aspects, whether you social quotient, emotional quotient, or your general knowledge, intelligence quotient, all that also being taken place in the intelligence. When a person is perfectly aware about all the things. He's been tentatively uh, consider the situation, response towards it, and understand the situation. When he's been doing all these three things, that time a person is known as intelligent. So that we will assess. Then second thing is what is attitude. Attitude क्या होता है? That has been the major question been known as. We have been thinking it in a negative form. That what does attitude is all about? The individual understanding potential for acquiring skills. Means how do we acquire skill? How do we observe, learn skills from the different places, from different situations? That is something attitude is all about. How much potential we have? A person A have a potential of learning the skill for about 2 months, and a person C is not having that much potential. He can learn only for the 1 month the particular same skill. So that in differentiation is being considered all around. Then the next term which is coming is interest. What is interest? It is knowledge of preference. Knowledge of preference is related how do you like, what is your choice, what is the specification of interest you have. For example, I have interest in psychology, so I will consider all the knowledge, or I will gain all such kind of knowledge, intelligence, or related books or skills which is related to my field, my interest, that is psychology. A person having interest in math, he will do all the mathematical skills, he will learn the tricks and tricks, so how to solve the sums. That is his kind of interest. That has been also explained. Then our personality. What is personality? It is unique characteristics. Means every individual is different. There, as we can see our palm, there are 5 fingers, right? All the 5 fingers have different size, different shape. So when the fingers of a person arm is not same, similarly the individuals are not same, they are different. They have their own characteristics from which they are being known for, and that is known as something as our personality. On that only we will judge the personality. This chapter will come you further in the class 12th. So we will take a class on the particular chapter only. Values. What does a value? Value is something related to beliefs. Means our what belief we have. Like some people believe in God, some people do not. So they are having their religious values. Then some people have good values for the political viewpoint. Some are not taking it as in positive sense. So that is their value of interest, their beliefs regarding a particular stream or a topic. Now we have been coming after this is assessment method. What is assessment method? It is characterized between some terms, that is psychological testing, characteristic, interview, case study, observation, and self-report. Psychological testing is what about? It is individual mental and behavior objective and subjective test में होती है. Means we have been individual के mental और behavioral aspects के characteristics को, mental characteristics और individuals के behavioral characteristics को we have been going to study about by doing some tests. We have been making some tests. I will show you some of the tests in your classes, that how to do. Like intelligence is also related some tests, like bachelor intelligence test for the adults and for the children's are there. So that test will attend that how much intelligence level a particular individual or subject have who's been attending the test. All that things and be done. Subjective type, objective types, which we can find out by doing the things. The method of working is there. For example, you have a Bhatia battery. That is an objective. There you will do it physically, and the test will tell you the result of your intelligence level. Interview. What is interview? Interview is something which is one-to-one person also. As we go for an interview is related to selecting a particular job. So there is sometime one-to-one person interaction. Sometime it is group to one. There are 3 or 4 persons are sitting in a particular area, and then they are asking from one person. That is the variation between interview. Then case study. Case study is all about the study of one objective. You have been taking a particular objective of person, for example, drug addiction, and then you study about that perspective over a person, and the person is also similar. That you will see what his case history was all about when he started using drugs, then when he was stopped, what is the reason of restarting, and why he want to stop it again. So all that study will be done on a particular subject, and that is considered as a case study. Next we are having observation. Observation is what is related to employing systematic, organized and objective procedure to record a behavior. What, how do it refers to you, like how do we see the people, what we understand about their characteristic, how they are working, and what we have been taking it there, that this is the positive point, that's on the negative point. All that things will be considering. All that is observation, how we've been employing the systematic organized form. In a particular method we are observing a person. We will make a list, checklist, that we have to observe this part of a person, so that all things will be done according to it. Then the self-report. What is self-report? Self-report is something, the factual information provided, like what we have done. A person A, Mr. A was there, okay, Mr. A was there, and in this we were taking his psychological test over intelligence. We have given him a pro forma on that he have done the test. With the help of manual we find out the result. We have interviewed him also. We talked about him and asked some related personal and objective question, formal question. Over his we have studied his full span, like how he was working for the in his previous classes, now what is his grades, all that things been observed. And we observe his major characteristic, how is he behaving with us, what reactions he is giving to us, all that thing. Then on that basis we will make a report, and that report is known as self-report, which we have made, and we are going to present, we are going to diagnose the person on the basis of these objectives. All it is all about. Understood with this? So let's start with the next topic, that is theories. Yes, so now we have been talking about the two approaches, and we have been talking about the two approaches and also about the two psychologists who have given their intelligence theory, that is Alfred Binet and Charles Spearman. Okay, so the psychometric approach is what it is all about, that it considers intelligence as an aggregate of abilities, means how the person is all about, what is the abilities he is having, all that has been consumed, and then we've been putting out in front of a person. We've been making the concept of that and presenting it in a form is known as intelligence in a psychometric approach. Then the second is, in this the single index is only been taken now, and in a we are working over the cognitive abilities, that what the cognitive abilities it is all about. So how the working is been taken place, decision making hai, problem solving hai, all that has been taken out in which sense, that has been explained in a psychometric approaches. Then the information processing approach. This is the approach in which people is going to describe about how the intellectual reasoning and problem solving take place, that how do the people work. This question arises in this. So all that has been explained in the information processing approach. Information is being provided to the people, that this is the way we are working, this is the way we are interacting with other people, and then we have some of the reasons that why the other person is working, why the sky is blue, how do stars shine? All these questions have reasons, and for that we will process all around, and that is related to information processing in approach. On this basis, an intelligence have given some psychologists has given their own theories over intelligence. That is the Alfred Binet, who was the first psychologist who have talked about the concept of intelligence, and he have given a one factor theory, that is also known as unifactor theory. In this he have talked about only the factor, that is the combination working the mental operational, we are saying it, or considering it is similar set of abilities, like all the abilities, all the things are related to only one factor, that is intelligence, that is our cognitive working. How the cognitive working, that what the operationals work, like how do we problem solve, how the decision making has been taking place, all that has been considered under Alfred Benet's one factor theory. Then moving further, when his other psychologists work over this theory, they said that only one factor, that is intelligence, is not only taking place for the intelligence. Whereas we have been explaining that intelligence is something related to understanding also, to reasoning also, or then explaining ourselves. So it is also related to other terms, or more factors also. So Charles Spearman in 1927 explained us that this is two-factor theory related to G factor and S factor, in which G means general factor and S means specialization or specific factors. What are the specific factors are there? Like we are interested in a particular field, and there we take the masters. I'm been interested in masters of in doing psychology. I'm interested in this field, so I will take my career, pursue my career in the particular field. A doctor want to be a doctor because he loves to do that work, and in doctor also there is a specialization. Someone is of heart patient, some is of bone, someone is of tooth. So that all things are related to their specification, and that has been explained in this specialization factor. General factor is related, in which we have to learn all the abilities. Like now you are the students of +2, so you have done your +1, then now you have been coming in +2. This is the basic knowledge which you need to take. After this you will do the graduations in psychology. So at that point you will take the general knowledge, the base you will make it up, and all that have to make everyone. After doing that, you will pursue your thing, that where you need to go. You want to go in a hospital as a clinical psychologist, or you want to go in a school as a school counselor. That will be your specialization. So this is the example of the G factor and S factor, where we have been generalizedly we take a base, we do the study of the general knowledge, and then in from that knowledge which topic we do like, we'll do the masters in that. So that is all about the intelligence chapter, and the intelligence chapter is all about what it is and how do it is being done. So this is the chapter. What the homework you will get to know about it is something by taking the screenshot. I will tell you your homework at the last. Firstly, take the screenshot of the page, and so you get to know. Now after taking the screenshot, you have to write about the psychologist for whom I have talked about in this, about the psychologist, their name, what theory they have given, what theory they have been related to. Like intelligence may also they have given us the two theory, one factor and two factors. You have to explain that, and which year the theory has arisen. That also you have to do from your NCERT book of class 12. Thank you, students.